me outside can do no harm. If you're able to
Mm.
internalize and overcome the internal battles that you have inside of you or whatever you're going through, you can overcome that, the demons and other obstacles you're facing inside your own mind. If you can overcome that, nothing outside can hurt you and nothing outside has any dictatorship over what you say or can govern you at all. Because in the end, you've overcome and you've battled and you've won the victory in your head. So if you truly get to a place where you're comfortable in your own skin, nobody outside can tell you, hey, listen, you're fat. If you're fat and you're comfortable with that, okay, that's cool. You look good too, bro. Now, I hope you get to the point where you're this comfortable in your skin. You don't have to be in good shape to be, mentally good. But whatever you're comfortable in inside and whatever you conquered inside, it will show on the outside because the
Mm.
little step outside the world won't affect you anymore.
What's good?
Not much was good with you, my love.
I'm here, blessed and highly favored.
What a time I see that.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to Mind Over Matter, baby. I'm your host, Deja Wallace. And if this is your first time joining me, welcome. If this is not your first time joining me, welcome back. I appreciate you. Like you really came back to listen to another
For real.
episode. Like,
Definitely.
like big
Show
up to
love. Show
you.
love.
I appreciate that. So, we have a very special guest in the building. As you can hear from my visuals on the YouTube, if you're watching, you can see already. We have the lovely
Hollywood. Nice to meet y'all.
Hollywood in the building.
For sure. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I appreciate you for pulling
Of
up.
course. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. It's a lot to get down.
It
It's a
is.
lot to
It's
get
definitely lots to
through,
get into for real.
but we're going to get into it on this
Absolutely.
episode. We're going to talk about your acting career.
For
I'm going
sure.
to talk about your journey, your mindset, trials and
Yeah.
tribulations, your faith.
There's a whole bunch. There's a whole
It's a
bunch of
lot
that.
to get
A whole
down.
bunch of that.
It's a lot to get down.
Definitely.
So, if this is something you're interested in, kick back, relax, and enjoy this episode.
Definitely.
Mr. Hollywood,
So
tell the
for real.
people a little bit about yourself. Let them
So
know what you're about.
absolutely. So my name is Hollywood. That's really my stage name. It's not my real name. I don't act like it at all. I promise you. I just really try my best to get into acting scene when I was young. I do jewelry cleaning. I do YouTube on the side. I still have my day job. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a jack of all trades. So I try to do my best to stay active. Be in the gym, keep my body right, my mind right, every aspect. I'm in church. I just came from church today. I had to come from church. Came here. I was like, I can't miss this. I definitely wanted to get on this podcast for a minute. So hit up my girl, and she was like, "Yeah, you can slide." So I was like, "All right, bet for sure."
Yes. I like how you said it all like
Yeah,
um yeah, and I specifically wanted to get into like what even brought you to acting? And was this something you always envisioned yourself doing?
so I wouldn't say I always envisioned myself doing. I wanted to be an architect actually at a young
Oh,
age
that's
because I know how to draw.
crazy.
So
I
yeah.
went to architecture
Oh,
school.
for real?
Mhm.
I wanted to do that until I found out you had to do math. I'm like, ugh. And then I wanted to be a
Yeah.
stockbroker. But ultimately,
Mhm.
when we would do plays in my school, I did one time. And I think I was like Frosty Snowman, which is one of the leads. And I was like, oh, this is fire. Like, I like the attention being on me. So I'm like, all right, why not? But I tried to take it seriously when I was younger. Ended up getting a scam one time. So my parents just like, yeah, nah, never again. So quarantine came around. And fortunately enough, I was able to sit down with my agent and my manager, go to a showcase, and then really be able to see what the acting industry is like.
Okay.
Yeah, so I fell in love with it from there, and I was like, "I bet I could do this." I'm sitting at home all day watching TV. Might as well be on one. You feel me? I'm
Mhm.
like, all right, that was really the motivation for me.
So this Hollywood name,
Yeah.
right? How did that come about? Was this just something you've always
hmm I wouldn't say it's something I always like had in my head. This is mostly
Mhm.
like it's sort of like a little nickname when I first got on TV. My friends were like, "Oh, Hollywood, Mr. Hollywood," and I
Mhm.
was like, I'm gonna go with it. It's nice. I want to change the stigmatism behind it anyway.
Mhm.
That's why I always like whenever I introduce myself as Hollywood, I say I promise I don't act like it at all though. That I want
Mhm.
to show them through my actions. The name it definitely can be, if nothing else, intimidating. Or
Mhm.
definitely like it has a bad stigmatism behind it because
It
of how
does.
Hollywood carry themselves or how they have the actors, doing
Mhm.
things behind the scenes. So it's like I definitely want to change the narrative behind that.
Yeah, because definitely, like, growing up, people who were they just acted like they were higher than
Yeah, but I
everybody.
hate
We
that.
just
I
call
hate
them
that
Hollywood,
today.
like,
Yeah,
that
yeah, exactly. I hate
Hollywood
that
over
today.
there.
I hate that stigmatism behind it, but that's what I'm
Mhm.
here to do. I'm here to change that for sure in the best way possible.
What was your first role you landed, and how did you get about going there? What was your mindset even
Yeah,
auditioning for that big role? He was on Power, y'all.
yeah. I say yeah. So
He was
my
on
my
Power,
first
y'all.
my first role that I booked like officially. This was
Mhm.
before I had my agent, before I had my manager. I had booked it on an app called Backstage, and I was actually booked to be a background dice player for Power. Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, episode 5. I'll never forget. It was amazing
That's
because I was
fire,
able
yeah.
to. So what happened was, lady, she had texted me. She was like, "Listen, the dates you got to be here. We need to go take you for your fitting." The whole process was just amazing because before I even got on set, they had me doing things to get myself ready. So I had to go get my sizing so that to take the right wardrobe sizes for what I was gonna be wearing that day.
Mhm.
They had to tell me what I was gonna be doing. And basically I showed up that day not knowing it was gonna be like so much fun. I showed up at like I think 5 a.m. in the morning. And it was crazy because I was like, I'll never forget. I'm sitting here, I'm like, this could really be my life.
Mhm.
So I'm sitting here just getting ready. They're feeding us breakfast. I'm like, yo, listen, they already put food on the table. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm like, this is amazing for me.
Mhm.
So then they end up putting on our costumes we had to wear that day. And I'll never forget, we had to walk to the actual location and we're getting there, we're setting up, we're waiting for like the actual actors to come. Well, not actual actors, but I mean Makai Curtis, like the main actors.
Mhm.
Makai Curtis, he's a cool guy, by the way. That's the lead. He plays Kanan. So he came on the set. And it's crazy because at the time, like you don't understand the basis of the episode or what's going on. You're just there to fill in. But then when you watch the season, you get to see why you were there. I'm like, oh, okay, it makes sense. I'm just a background dice player at the time. I'm not thinking like, and then they start fighting. I'm not knowing why they end up fighting him and
Mhm.
scrapping. And it was just cool. It was a cool experience because they were very nice. They talked to us. They treated us like we were one of them. And I
Mhm.
forgot his name. I forgot the actor who played Scrappy, but he was very cool too. I wish I had his name like loaded in here. Cause Makai Kurtz, obviously I had him in,
Mhm.
but the guy who plays him, I think his name is Adiki. I don't know. I'm bugging. I'm bugging. But he
Mhm.
was cool. He looked at me and we were talking and he said, listen, like, I need you to hand me the dice because it's like it's hurting me when I go down. I'm like, oh, you chose me? I'm like, I bet for
Mhm.
sure. That was like a highlight for me. I'm just like the little stuff. Like it's always a silver lining in the little things.
Mhm.
But we were talking basically in between shoots, and he basically had told me, he was like, he said, I said, I'm gonna get up there with you guys one day. He said, listen, bro, you already here. You just gotta keep pushing. You feel me? And that right there was a big opening for me. It's just like you gotta want this bad enough. Anything in life, you gotta want bad enough. And then you train yourself, you push yourself to get to that point where you can be able to obtain it.
Mhm. So that auditioning process, were you competing with other people face to face? Yeah?
So when you do auditions like that, you don't compete face to face. That's really an online thing. It's like so but the
Okay.
cool thing with backstage is you get to upload your headshot and your resume and then
Mhm.
they decide whether they want to choose you or not. I've
Mhm.
definitely had to compete for a couple of roles on face to face, and that's really challenging only
Yeah.
because you're going against people who look exactly like you, if not m- with the same skill set, a better skill set than you. So you have to really be able to stand out in a room full of yous, and that's some people may think it's easy. It's like, okay, I bring something different to the table, but you could be the best where you're at. But when you
Mhm.
get where the best of the best are at, it's like, okay, maybe you're not as good as you thought. I feel like that was definitely a humbling moment for me. I had to go into an audition one time in the city, and I walked into a room like not to the literal sense everybody looked like me, but everybody was African American, or from different ethnic backgrounds. But there was some type of similarity between all of us. Basically, one at a time we got called into the room with there were the directors, the producers, and we had to audition in front of them. Now I was loaded in already. I had programmed myself to the character I was gonna be. I had been watching Snowfall the day before and the day of actually how I wanted to portray my character. I think I would portray my character after what's his name? I forgot. But it's one of the actor's older brothers. Not Leon's brother. But it was one of the character's older brothers. And I
Mhm.
portrayed myself because he just got out of jail and he was a hard headed thug. And I was like, I bet this is what I want to adapt. This is what I want to become. And I just added my own little spin on there. I go into the room. I thought I killed the audition. They said you did very well. But again, you never know until, they don't hit you up. And that's the crazy thing about acting because it's like they're never going to tell you, hey, you didn't get the role. They just won't contact you again. Say, oh, okay, I didn't get the
Mhm.
role. All right, I'll just keep it pushing, keep trying.
Mhm. What mental frame are you in when you're looking for, like, how to just portray these characters on screen?
It's really the character synopsis they give me. So it's
Okay.
like what if I'm given the role of a drug dealer, I go to my go-tos, that would be like, power
Mhm.
or snowfall or BMF, something like that. Look at the characters individually, break them down
Mhm.
individually, and then see what I bring to the table from my own past experiences or anything that
Mhm.
I've been through that could be relatively similar to it. It's the
Mhm.
same thing with anything else. I feel like with acting, you have to really just tap into what you see yourself as being in that moment when you're given that character role, and then just relating it best way you can to the synopsis they've given you, entirely making it a new character. You just want to be able to bring new things to the table, and not new in the sense that, oh, it's like, oh, I'm gonna come in with pink hair, right? That's something different that my character does. No, it's like the way your tonality, the way you talk, the way
Mhm.
you
Like a
articulate yourself.
walk.
Exactly, it's a walk.
Like, think about, Franklin Walk.
Yeah, yeah, she is exactly. That's exactly
Yeah,
what it
and
is.
Snowfall, that
Yeah, yeah.
walk,
So you
like
just gotta be able to like bring your own type of sense of character to it. Like
right,
you're
your
you.
own, like, oomph.
Yeah, oomph, exactly. Good word, oomph. Bring your oomph to it.
How do you feel about the scope that Black men are being portrayed in the media?
That's a good. I'm happy you asked that. I saw that question. I was like, "Ah, yeah, I need that one. It's so when you look at a lot of these shows, right? Things like Power and such, and I say Power because Power was a driving factor for me in quarantine. I did want to get on that show so much. I
Mhm,
was like, yo, if I get on that show, I'm just like, I'm lit, I'm valid. But when you tend to get young African American actors like myself who get into these roles, they're usually pigeonholed in this role, right? And it's like, okay, I see you as a drug dealer. That's all I can see you as. And I can definitely say throughout the process, it's taught me a little bit more of how to be diverse. Because in the beginning, it was just like, yo, I want to be on Power. I don't want the fame. I want to be lit. I want to be shooting guns. And then it's
mhm,
like, where's the diversity towards yourself? It's like, don't just be like, the guy who can shoot guns. Be the guy who can, be a lawyer, who can go into a courtroom and defend somebody. Be, a cowboy. Be able to be somebody who is a man of all talents and can be able to portray different characters, not just the same character. Cause I know
mhm,
like there'll be sometimes you'll see a character and like, yo, he plays the same actor in every movie. And it's
mhm,
like, he's not that he's doing that. It's just like, that's what his agents are pitching him out for because that's his best leading role.
mhm. I think, of course, Denzel does that very well, like, he can
Definitely,
be
definitely. He could be
anybody.
anybody. He's a
Yeah.
great man. He's a great man, great actor. I've seen him his variety and his ability to just capture the character he's going to become. And
Mhm,
any film that he's in is amazing. It captures me. It makes me want to look in, lock in any type of aspect in any type of way, shape, and form. I'm just like, I want to be better. I want to be able to get to a point where I'm like, I can act with Denzel.
mhm. Do you feel like hmm, do you feel like the media also plays a role into how society is ran in a way, especially in
Definitely.
America?
No, definitely. I feel like if you're not doing what's portrayed or typically viewed as being cool, then the media
Mhm,
is definitely gonna have something to say, and then that in itself can get in your head and make you second guess what you're doing. And
mhm,
now all of a sudden you're starting to look at different things and want to do different things differently because of the media not, and then in that process you're losing yourself.
mhm,
Because entirely whenever you get a role or whenever you get anything in life, it's because you wanted it. But for an example, let's say I get a pair of sneakers, right? And I think they're cool no matter what nobody else says. If I wear them one day, I'm just getting a whole bunch of negative feedback. Of course, it's gonna, influence me to not wear them. 'Cause I'm like, okay, well, even if I do like the shoes, I can't wear them comfortably in the fact knowing that, oh, this is what I really want to wear. Because
mhm,
at the end of the day, you're always gonna have somebody else's opinion. And whether you're locked in or not, it can play a factor in you.
mhm,
So my day job, I'm actually a waiter, but we always make the saying, you can have 10 good compliments that one day or within 1 hour. That one bad compliment will mess up your whole day.
mm,
And it's just that severe. It's like people don't realize how much negative energy when they put into the world and when they put it into a single person, how big and how majorly it can affect their day or whatever they're going through.
right. It's a lot there.
Definitely.
You mentioned before that when you first started, you wanted the fame, you
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to shoot
For
guns, you
sure.
wanted to be outside just,
Yeah,
lit.
just lit. Just lit.
Exactly. What took you away from that being your ultimate goal in acting?
I just say personal growth, going through things separately from my acting life that just showed me, listen, like you can get there and
Mhm,
still not be happy. You feel me? Like, be able to be content where you're at in life right now, but be able to want more because you don't like everybody says I want to be the biggest. I want to be the biggest. I feel like nobody understands how much pressure that comes with, right?
Mhm.
As long as you're able to do the small things, like take care of your family, take care of yourself, be able to be financially free. I feel like that's the ultimate goal in the end. Because if you're continuously putting strain on yourself to be the best, there's always going to be somebody younger than you and hungrier than you that will eventually take your spot. So if you're continuously, getting getting ready to be the best or training to be the best, you lose time and you lose track of what's really important, which is the ones around you, which is your friends, your family. If you're fortunate to have good friends and family, definitely take your time, definitely be able to be around them and soak up the energy they have because life is definitely short, It's short, it's borrowed, people are fallible, and you need to be able to understand that because that's definitely a big one. And for me, it was really sitting back and being able to get back to my family with certain things and be like, yeah, listen, like I like doing this. I like seeing this smile. I'm a giver more than I'm a receiver. I'll receive. Don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
I'll receive. I'll take gifts, but I do like giving them. It's just like to see the joy in their faces.
Right.
Yeah,
So, have you ever been presented with a role that didn't fit your values of where you
definitely,
wanna go?
definitely. That's actually it was a recent role I was given by my agent. No, no, not by my agent, but by my manager
Mhm.
and I had to turn it down. I was just like, yo, like it was I can't speak too much about it because they had me sign a confidentiality form, but
Mhm.
it's it was basically a role where I'm gay and I'm with another cast member that would be gay in the scene.
Pause.
Of course. Yeah, wait, pause, my fault. But yeah, so they'd have me be portraying a gay thug, and I was just like,
That's
I know
wild.
I got the ring for it. I'm like, hold on, and I was gonna do it. Like I didn't read it fully though, so
Mhm.
I had read the script and I was like, okay, this is cool. I just read my lines. I was like, I found this cool, and the name of the other character I was supposed to be with, it was it was something where it could be unisex, right? So I'm
Mhm.
chilling
Like a
with it.
Tyler.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I bet. Oh nah, Tyler kind of masculine, but it was some
Nah, I know a lot of female
female Tylers.
Tylers. Yeah.
That's I've never
I
bumped into
know 2
maybe
female
one,
Tylers
maybe
and
one.
2 male Tylers.
That's
That's
crazy. All right, I'm gonna bump into Tyler. And be like, what's up, Tyler? If it just be just dap him up or hug him. It is what it is.
Alex too.
No, no, Alex is okay. I've
Yeah.
definitely seen Alex's, but I got to reading it. I'm like, oh, I said, hold on. So I look at the name because in this scene it says, I'm sneaking out to go meet up with blank so, and then I look at the breakdown of the characters that are gonna be in it, and
Mhm.
I look in the name. I'm like, okay, this is still a unisex name, and I'm reading it says male. I'm like, oh no, I
Wow.
can't do that. I'm just because again, it's nothing against the LGBTQ, but my
Mhm.
personal preference and my personal morals forbid me from doing things like that. Because again,
Mhm.
I feel like if I were to do something like that, I would lose too much of myself. Like I feel like me compromising my morals for the sake of money or for the sake of fame, it's only gonna get lead me down a spiral of feeling unworthy or unhealthy mentally to do things going
Mhm.
forward. And it's just like even if no matter how much they was offering, whether it be a million or not, I'd rather be intact with the ability to be like, hey, listen, I was able to turn this down
Mhm.
because it conflicted with my morals. I want to be able to be somebody who's well
And
respected.
that's big.
Definitely,
That's huge.
definitely. I had to I talked to my mom, who's my best friend, about it, and then I
Mhm.
talked to my dad, and both their perspectives were different. My mom, she was like, yeah, no, I'm happy. Like I'm good. You didn't do it. You feel me? Like I'm
Mhm.
happy. If you did, we would have had to have a talk. My dad was more so on the fact he was like, okay, like that's acting. He's like, what do you want to do? I said, I don't want to take
Well,
it.
that's surprising. Your
Yeah,
dad
that
was
when I say surprised, I was like my father. Like,
your dad is like,
my dad, he's very understanding. He's a very understanding man.
mhm.
It's just I wasn't able to just. I was like, nah, I can't do that. And I told my agent, my manager from the
Mhm.
very start. I was like, don't put me up for certain roles because I'm not comfortable doing certain things. And
Mhm.
your job as an actor is always to challenge yourself to an extent, right? You don't
Mhm.
ever want to do anything where it's like you go home and it's like I just can't live with myself. And I feel like if
Mhm.
I had taken that role, that's what it would have done to me in the long run. No matter if it was for the fame or the money, in
Mhm.
the end, I have to go home at the end of the day and ultimately, go to sleep and wake up and realize, listen, this is what you did for money. What won't you do for money?
And I also feel like when you're acting, you're tapping into a version of yourself.
Definitely. That's true. I'm not gonna lie. That is
So
definitely true.
let me be careful. Let me
Yeah, man.
But I also feel like when people see you on camera, sometimes it's hard for the audience to disassociate
Yeah,
the
no,
actor from
definitely.
the
If I
real.
see if I see somebody killing somebody or like run after somebody with a knife or something, I'm like they've definitely done that before. If they're doing it too, I'm like, oh yeah, that it definitely tapped into a part of them where it's crazy. And
Mhm,
like I said, those are parts like that as an actor where you have to be able to differentiate what you can and cannot do.
mhm,
It's different to portray a killer because like it. So put it to you like this: everybody gets mad, right? Everybody gets mad. It's just the level of intensity of mad that you can display on camera.
mm,
So if I get mad to the point where I'm flipping tables and stuff, it takes nothing from me to run after somebody and act like I'm trying to hurt them.
mhm,
But if I've never kissed a male in my life, if I've never been, in a situation like that, it's just like I don't know if I could tap into that. And even if I did, I don't know how believable it would be. And
mhm.
even if it was believable, again, it conflicted with who I am as
Yeah.
a person.
Mhm,
So it's like I don't want to get to the point where I'm now just compromising myself for money.
mhm.
Because you do that, better than a shorty who people be bashing for OnlyFans. For me, like they're technically getting money, but
Mhm.
again, they compromising their morals.
Yeah.
You do something,
You feel empty, like, what's the
exactly.
cost of it?
Exactly. It's like, I got a couple of bands, but it's like, nah, I ain't worried that at the end of the day.
Yeah. Have you ever went against your moral compass, and how did that end up?
So not for acting. I'm never going against my moral compass. I've been very headstrong at acting, but
Mhm,
there've been other times where I've done something that goes against my moral compass. I'm just at the end of the day, I'm like, it was cool, but it's like, really? Like that's what we're doing? I'm just like, nah, I go home, like, yeah, nah, I don't feel too good.
mhm.
Perfect example, like I don't like people who don't know this, I really don't drink like that. I really don't prefer to drink. I'm like, if I go outside with my friends, like if you look at my vlogs, anybody who watches my YouTube, you will see. I get
What's your
really
YouTube?
oh yeah, it's Hollywood Mitchell, or you could type the real Hollywood, but the O's and the wood are zeros. So just make
Yeah,
sure you get that.
tap
But
in.
yeah, for real, tap in, subscribe. Every Friday. But is there like I said, I don't drink like that. I've never smoked a day in my life at all. We're honest to God, take my soul right now if I'm lying. But I'll drink, but it's not to get like drunk.
Mhm.
And even if I'm presented with
To
it,
get social.
is that yeah, so I social drink, one little sip of something. But it's not like, oh yeah, send me the shots. If you
Yeah.
present me with a drink, I'll most likely say nah. I'm like, unless it's like a Mike's lemonade, something soft, like 5% alcohol, that's calm. But you talk about shots and stuff, mixed drinks, we can really keep that over there. It's not something I'll do. But
Mhm.
back to the question. Yeah, it's like there'll be times where I'll go out with my friends, I'll be doing a vlog or something, like take shots, take shots. I take a shot, and I'm like, ugh, why'd I do that? I'm like, I hate it. I just don't like the way it tastes. I'm like, it's for content. I hate y'all. Like, why you have me doing this? Like, are y'all really gonna subscribe and like the video? Like, I'm hurting myself for y'all. You're not even liking it. But yeah, I feel like everybody's done it once in their life. Definitely compromise their morals. It's just how you move forward in the future and how you combat that to a new extent of okay, this is what I've learned. This is what I'm not going to
Mhm.
do going forward. Life is still a learning process. You still have to try and try. It's trial and error the whole life. You'll never stop learning. You'll never stop gaining knowledge. But it it really depends on how you use that knowledge going forward. Because if
Mhm.
I continue to touch fire and touch fire and I get burned. Eventually, my hand gonna come off. You feel me? So it's like I get burnt once. Most people are smart enough to not do it again, but you get some people who they'll go back, test the fire again, just to see if it is as hot or hotter, and it's just like, bro, like, what are
It's
you
still gonna
doing?
burn you. It's
Yeah,
still gonna
it's
burn
still
you.
gonna burn you. It's gonna be the same outcome, so
Mhm.
it is what it is.
How are you so headstrong in that industry? Because the influence can be very tempting.
Definitely, definitely. I'll give credit to my mother. She's a stubborn
Mama,
woman.
shadow
Yeah,
mama.
shout out to my mom, man. Shout out to my mom. That's my dad too. He both of them are stubborn. That's probably why I am what I am. I ain't gonna
Mm,
lie. My dad is stubborn in his ways, and my mom's even more stubborn. But it's definitely when I first got into it, my mom sat me down. I was talking to her. She was like,
mhm,
listen, just don't be doing anything that compromises your morals. She always used to tell me, I was like, yo, I'm gonna be on TV one day. She's like, listen, be very clear what you say. Life and death is in the power of the tongue.
mm,
Because she said you could be on TV for killing somebody. You could be on the
mhm,
news, right? So she was like, just make sure you're specific with it because God gonna hear your prayers.
mm.
So say I'm gonna be on TV for good reasons rather than I'm just gonna be on TV. That can mean anything. So
Right.
she did teach me that. She was like, just make sure you're very adamant in what you're saying. And my dad is he's like, listen, just be forward thinking, you
Mhm,
know. So it's really you gotta lock in and be able to know what you're gonna give and take. Everything is give and take. You gotta give and
mhm,
take in the industry, but be able to know what you're willing to give up, what you're willing to take,
mhm.
and what you're willing to compromise on. Because if you just get to a point where you're compromising and compromising, you start to lose yourself, which leads to people doing drugs or going to other outlets to make themselves feel okay, and which is not always the best thing to
Right.
do. because then you get people who get depressed, you get people who are, sick in the head or just need somebody else to talk to, or they don't got nobody to talk to and self harming. So it's a slippery slope. So definitely make
Mhm.
sure you know you're headstrong in the business.
Yeah.
Make sure you know what you want to give up and not give up.
Mhm. It's crazy because once in a blue moon, I was offered a deal to be on TV.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Why don't you take
It
it?
was I did.
Oh, you did?
I signed the NDA, everything,
Oh, get out.
but the pilot didn't fall through, I
Gotcha.
guess.
Okay. Yeah,
It was,
yeah,
like, still in the works, but the
yeah.
pilot didn't come through.
It's a lot of that going on.
Yeah,
It's definitely a
so
lot of that.
it was a reality show.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it was a
See?
new reality show that they had this idea of putting a bunch of versions on an island.
Oh, that's crazy. I might have done something. You said Virgins on the Island?
Yeah.
I would have
It
lied.
was called, like, Never Have I Ever,
You know what's
and
crazy?
I'm glad God really, like, I was not ready for that.
Yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah, yeah,
21 at the
for
time,
sure.
and I was not ready for that. God really
Yeah,
at the time, I'm like, "Damn," like, I was, like, fantasizing
yeah,
about it.
yeah,
They
yeah.
already gave
That's how
me
they get you.
everything, and
That's how they
then
get you. They hype it up. They're like,
yeah, they're
listen.
like, "You about to have a free vacation,"
You
like,
see that? Yeah, like you gonna travel.
but
You gonna
then
get cool.
when you really read these agreements,
Yeah,
they have your name and likeliness.
yeah. Simple. They have
You know?
everything.
And
Yeah,
at that young age, it's like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna be on TV." That's all I was
yeah.
telling everybody,
I
like,
learned to stop doing that too. That's
yeah,
another thing. 'Cause I'm like, you could be blocking your blessing when you do
you
something like
are,
that.
you
I think
are.
I was in high school and I had been telling my friends at the time like, 'cause
Mhm,
this is when I got scammed, like I mentioned previously before.
mhm.
I had went to a Disney audition, not really Disney,
Oh,
but
damn.
it is what it is. They were like, you have to pay to do screen testing. If you have to pay anybody, this is smarter. Well, this is just free advice, right? Free 99. If you ever have to pay anybody for any audition process, it's a scam. Your agent or your manager do not get paid unless you book something. So that's just word of
Mhm,
the wise. But anyway, basically what they were telling me, I had made it to the second round of elimination. I had passed the first one. The second round, they had said, "Listen, you gotta pay this amount to start screen testing." My dad and my mom, they didn't have it at the time, so they were like, "Yeah, no, it's not gonna happen." I ended up going to school and I was just hoping. I was like, "Nah, nah, God's gonna make a way." He's like, I was just like, "There's no way I passed the first round. And there's only 3 rounds." I'm like, "I'm at the second. Like, I might as well finish out."
mhm.
I ended up telling my friends, I'm like, "Listen, like, don't tell nobody. I might be on Disney. I'm about to be on Disney." And I felt so cool saying that because at the time, this is
Yo,
when
nah,
Disney had
Disney, I
substance,
probably
bro.
applied to a few things on Disney
That
too.
when I was young, I was just like, yeah, why not? I think I would have been what, maybe 17 or 16 at the time. Maybe those two ages. But I was
No,
telling
I'm
them, like, listen, I'm
weak.
gonna be on Disney. Just I got us from now on. I got us. And they're sitting there like, yo, listen, he the promised one. He get a ticket. He gonna get it. And then like, a couple weeks went by. Like, what happened? When you gonna leave? I'm just like, hey, working on it, bro. They working on it. Never happened.
Damn. Nah, those Disney things used to have me too.
Yeah,
They used to be
they
like,
did.
"Oh, this is Debbie Ryan number,
Yeah,
call
you see,
her."
bro. I'm me and my little gullible self. I'm like, I'm about to give Debbie Ryan a call right now. Yo, Debbie,
Yo.
put me on
Like,
Jesse
"Hey,
right
it's
now, yo.
Debbie
Yeah,
from
like
Jessie."
you see
I'm
that,
like,
and they
"Yo."
get you, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that's so
That's
annoying.
crazy.
People
We
are
all live the
cruel.
same life. I definitely applied to a few
Yeah,
online.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, like when you a kid, you get a phone and you see something like that. It's like, why not?
Yeah.
Let me go for it. Especially if your parents are supportive, which mine are. So it's like
Mhm,
I was down. My mom, my dad, they took me, my brother, and my sister to all go,
mhm.
and me and my sister were able to get through. Brother wasn't. No shade to him. No shade to him. Nah, I ain't gonna lie. Nah, Jordan, he be doing his own thing. He a basketball player, man. He a good one too. And he upcoming rapper. He doing his thing. But it's definitely a process in which, you're going through it.
Mhm.
And at some point you're like, is this real? Is this not? And that's even with the real stuff. It's like, I can't believe like this is really happening. And the fake stuff too, like I can't believe this is really happening. So it's just like
Yeah.
it's an eye opener for you in both aspects, in both senses.
Mhm. How important is your family system and your support system to you?
Oh my
Because you
God,
do talk about your
they're
family a
my
lot.
everything. They're my
Um,
everything. I can argue with them all day, but once we
mhm,
step outside those four doors, those four walls, nobody is touching them. My sister, my brother, my mother, my father, I love them all to death. That goes for my extended family too. But
mhm,
obviously, you live with your immediate, so
mhm,
they become like your skin. They're my skin. They're my backbone. Everybody plays a vital role in my journey of becoming a successful actor, Oscar award winning actor.
mhm,
I think it was for when the Raising Kanan. I had
mhm,
booked it and I had booked the role and I got back from shooting that day and then the next day I had to go back to school, right? And I'm just like, why am I here? Like, I just was in a trailer, bro. I just was around cameras. Like, that's my lifestyle. I walk by my sister's like, you want to know what you did wrong? You ain't get to leave, bro. You feel me? And
Mhm.
like to other people, that sounds cool, but I'm like, that's just my sister. It's like she keeps
Mhm.
me grounded. You feel me? Not so I get to the point where I get a big head and I'm better than anybody else. And then you got my mom in the corner. She's like, who's raising Kenan? You raising Kenan? I'm like, and then she's teeing me up.
I love
And
that.
then my
Yeah.
brother, he's going around. He's like, yo, listen, like you really did this from the ground up, boy. Like doing, this is you.
Mhm.
You got my dad. He's just like, make sure you be smart with the money. For me, so it's like everybody plays a vital role in me becoming a good man, a good actor overall. So I need them. I couldn't be half of the man, a quarter of the man
Mm.
without them. So it's like they definitely mean a lot to me.
Right.
Love them, love them,
Y'all
love them.
locked in.
Yeah.
I love that because, like I said, I didn't say this. I asked you the question
Mhm.
previously, but I still feel like there is a limited scope of where Black people are portrayed in media.
Yeah,
Like, that's undeniable.
for sure.
And as this next generation, I feel like it's our duty to just break those stereotypes and those
Definitely.
monoliths
Yeah,
and just break those generational
yeah,
cycles that keep repeating.
for sure.
And going back to like this is like a year age like debate
Hmm.
on how like people say sometimes the music you listen to can
Yeah,
influence.
definitely.
How do you feel like the images of like I kind of already went
Hmm.
on this, but I kind of want to get deeper
Okay, let's
into
talk.
it.
Let's
I
get
kind
deep.
of want to get
Let's
deeper,
get deep.
like
Let's get
start
deep.
digging.
Of course.
How do you feel like just, these powers and
Hmm.
just these snowfalls are playing a role into do you think it's influencing our community to be
Definitely.
that way
Yeah,
or
for sure. Because when you look at shows like that on TV,
Mhm.
that's all that's all fiction, right?
Mhm.
Fiction is fake, right? I'm bugging. All right, yeah. So that's all fiction. You see
You
somebody
said
get.
fiction fake on
I'm,
both.
I'm I got.
It is.
I
It
used to. I
is.
might say
Yeah.
back in school, I used to get nonfiction and fiction mixed up all the time. But
Yeah,
that's
me
all
too.
fiction, right? When you sit there and you see somebody killing somebody and they get away with it, that's not reality. And like you have to go. You have to go into the real reality of it and understand. Anytime something like that happens, anytime you commit a crime, there's somebody watching. There's a camera recording. There's something you're not gonna get away with it. Anything you do in the dark will eventually come to light, no matter if it's years from now, if it's a day from now.
Mhm.
So everything you do is being recorded by something, if not God, Jesus Christ, or high and mighty. So he's never gonna let anything go unpunished. Right. And if you're that smart and that stupid to get away with anything, shame on you. Right. So
Mhm.
when they look at these shows and when they see certain things on Power, on Snowfall, on BMF, not knocking it at all. It's great entertainment, but that's all it is at the end of the day. It's entertainment. It's
Mhm.
not reality. If you do that in real life, if you try to portray stuff like that in real life, and there's certain people out there that do things like that for real, like that's really their source of income. Granted, that's they know no other way. However, for people to want to get into it because of the show, it's not good. It's not smart. Because what you're really saying is you want to be in a television show in real life. And that's to an extent it's real because every day we're acting, whether you want to like so for example, like again, my day job, a waiter. I have to go in to my job and serve people. No matter how I'm feeling, I'm acting. You feel me? So
That's a
that's
great
different.
point.
You feel me? So it's like it's a different level of acting.
Mhm.
When you're sitting here and you're like, I want to sell these drugs. I'm trying to get more money. No, you can go get a 9 to 5. You can work hard, put the time and the effort in, and save your money and do the right thing with your money rather than selling drugs and getting hurt or getting killed or getting locked up. Like it can go so wrong so many other ways. And since a lot of African American people are looking at these shows, especially people my age. They're looking at it, they see the whips, they see the shorties, they see the clothes, they see money. It's like I can have it this way if I just tap into this. They doing it on Power, like why can't I do it? And it's like, and I see what they're doing on Power that gets them caught up. I can do everything the opposite way and never get touched. You will always get touched. There's always gonna be somebody bigger than you, better than you. Law enforcement is here, like you're not getting away with it, bro.
Mhm.
And eventually, if you do tap into it, you're looking at football numbers. 'Cause the stuff they do on Power, if any one of them were to get touched, football numbers in jail. It's not no 1, 2 years, not no light probation. You are getting life. In life, you getting 20, 25 plus, bro.
Mhm. So it's basically like where that person is mentally if they want to
Yeah,
adopt what they see in or not.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
But like that comes with maturity though. Like you
Right.
grow up eventually. You have to.
Mhm.
Because I'm watching something on TV when I'm young, of course I'm gonna think it's real. It's like, I don't know anything else to compare it to.
Mhm.
So I can get away with stuff when I'm younger. When you're my age, when you're 22, when you're 21, you no longer have that ability to be able to say, "Oh, I'm pretending." No, it's like you're not on the playground no more, bro. This is life, and life ain't a playground. You hurt somebody, you gonna get in trouble. You hurt yourself, you in trouble. You
Mhm.
hurting the ones around you. So there's a consequence for your action. It's cause and effect. Your whole life is cause and effect. You're either causing or you're being affected by something. So it's like it's give and pull. I always say that life is a give and take, give and pull, however you want to word it.
Mhm.
You have to give in what you want out of it, and you have to want out of it what you put into it.
Mhm.
You be nice to somebody, you just compliment somebody when you walking on the street. That's nice to do. You don't got to do it, but it's nice to do.
Mhm.
Let's say God bless you later on during the day. Boom, it's good. But you put bad energy out into the world. You just picking on somebody or you making fun of somebody. You don't even know what they're going through. You think God gonna reward you? No, it's just like you gotta be nice. Be a good person. It's nice to be nice. Then not, if not for nothing else, to make somebody's day. You come and you say, "Hi, you look beautiful." They don't really gotta look beautiful, but you say it because they go home. They're like, "Listen,
Nah,
I
they do gotta look. You can't just be
what
lying on
that is true.
people.
That's
Don't be
true.
lying on people like
Of course,
that.
that's true. But at the end of the day, just like not in the literal sense, where like, oh my God, you're a model. It's just like, it can be something about them, like their energy, their presence,
Mhm.
that you find beautiful. You don't gotta be specific and say, hey, listen, your energy is beautiful. I mean,
Mhm.
you can, but if you want to be just broad
Yeah,
too and
yeah.
say that, they'll
Mhm.
take I'm pretty sure they're gonna take the comp. Nobody's gonna be like, ew. And if
Right,
they
right,
are,
right.
they
Yeah,
having a
they got
bad
their
day.
own
It's
thing
like they
going
got their own thing going
on.
on. I mean, you did your part. You said they was
Mhm.
beautiful. Keep it pushing.
Where do you wanna take this acting thing without giving too much of the sauce,
Yeah,
too
yeah.
much of the blueprint?
But
Where do
yeah.
you ultimately see yourself being?
I see myself at the Oscars. I want to be an
Oh,
Oscar award winning actor.
okay.
See, it's not just enough to say I want to be a successful actor anymore. I want to get to the point where people know, hey, listen, if I could just get one Oscar, that'd be amazing. Well, when I get
Mhm.
one Oscar, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Mm.
I'm gonna lock in and get it together, and I'm just gonna keep pushing because the sky's the limit. If you see it, you touch it, you obtain it. If it's able to be thought of, you can get it. You just gotta want it hard enough. I was literally in a conference call 2 days, if not a day ago. And the guy basically was telling us, these other bunch of actors, he was like, listen, do you have gymnasts? And these gymnasts go in there and they do what they gotta do every day, right? Only some of them make it a national. And those are the ones who won it. Those are the ones that when the gym is closed on Christmas, they're at home still working out. They're at home stretching. They're at home focused on how they want to perfect themselves. You gotta be able to give up a lot of things in order to get what you want. God's not gonna look at you and say, hey, listen, this guy and this girl is sitting down and being lazy, I'm gonna reward them. It doesn't work like that. You need to show you understand what you want. You need to show you understand the sacrifice that it takes to get to where you want. And you need to implement it. I have something in my room. I think it's grind, hustle, execute. Not in those exact orders, or maybe it is, but I keep that up in my room as a constant reminder every time I get up. I'm chatting right now. It's in my room, but I'm gonna take my advice. I'm gonna look at that
Mhm.
every morning, just implement it. 'Cause I do, but it's like I have it there for a reason, so I have to look at it and really
Mhm.
remind myself to get up, grind, work
Right.
hard, and execute.
'Cause you can't just keep dreaming. You gotta wake up and actually do.
Yeah, I forgot there was a great quote, but it said, "Dreams without work is just a fantasy." I think it's something like
Mm.
that. So if you
There's
just
also a Bible verse that goes, "Faith without work is dead."
that's a good, yeah, okay, I've heard that one. Definitely,
Mhm.
definitely, that's a good one too.
'Cause it's
Definitely.
like, do you really have faith at the end of the day if you're
Yeah,
not
absolutely. So I'm in total
actually
agreement.
trying to obtain it?
Yeah, you gotta be able to work for something. Nothing's just given to you. And if it
Mhm.
is, those are people who are like, born in dynasties or born in rich families. And
Mhm.
again, they don't know what it's like to work because they ain't built it from the ground. I'm not hating on them. You're
Yeah.
fortunate enough to have it. But
Mhm. But I rather work for it.
no, definitely.
It's
Because
way
nobody
more
can take it from you.
fulfilling.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nobody can sit here and take like when you're in the gym and you're working for a good body,
Mhm.
nobody can say, "Hey, listen, like you brought that," or "It's not yours." I worked
Yeah.
hard for it. You worked
Exactly.
hard for it. I got up at the hours I didn't want to get in the
Mhm.
gym, focus on myself, put whatever
Mhm.
emotional things I was going through
And that's where the
away.
mindset develops.
Yeah, that's
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 really
all
where
growth. That's
yeah.
maturity. That's growth. You're learning every day. Every day, whether you realize it or not, your brain is expanding with more and more knowledge.
Mhm.
Because you live today, if you live today like you live tomorrow, or you live today like you're gonna live the day going forward, or yesterday, my fault. you're not learning anything, you're not progressing, right? If I get up and wear the same clothes and do the same exact thing I'm doing every day, it's bad. That's you're becoming content, you're becoming too comfortable in the schedule you have. You're
Mhm.
not gonna grow. But if you get up every day and you're changing minute things, small things,
Mhm.
let's say you did a push up yesterday, you're gonna do two push ups this morning. You're learning to
Yeah,
continuously
do better
push.
than the last day.
Exactly. And that's growth. That's what growth. Now
Mhm.
at the end of the week, instead of doing a push up, you're doing seven push ups. And it's like you're learning that throughout the days. You can only get better and better if you want to. If you want to get better. If you don't want to
Mhm.
get better, you can sit there and be perfectly calm and content with where you're at in life and just, be comfortable being a nobody. But if you want to be a somebody,
Mhm.
that option is always out there for you. You can do that and you can achieve that by putting in hard work and putting in the pain and putting in the effort it takes to get there.
Mhm. So the essence of this podcast, Mind Over Matter, is to use your inner conditions
Hmm.
to attract your outer reality. Because I
Definitely.
believe whatever is happening inside of you, if you're able to govern it,
Hmm.
you're able to dictate what is
Yeah,
happening outside of you.
I agree.
So, what does mind over matter mean for you?
Mind over matter for me in short in a short sentence,
Hmm.
when you conquer the enemy within, the enemy outside can do no harm. If you're able to
Mm.
internalize and overcome the internal battles that you have inside of you or whatever you're going through, you can overcome that, the demons and other obstacles you're facing inside your own mind. If you can overcome that, nothing outside can hurt you, and nothing outside has any dictatorship over what you say or can govern you at all. Because in the end, you've overcome and you've battled and you've won the victory in your head. So if you truly get to a place where you're comfortable in your own skin, nobody outside can tell you, hey, listen, you're fat. If you're fat and you're comfortable with that, okay, that's cool. You look good too, bro. Now, I hope you get to the point where you're this comfortable in your skin. You don't have to be in good shape to be, mentally good. But whatever you're comfortable in inside and whatever you conquered inside, it will show on the outside because the
Mm.
little step outside the world won't affect you anymore.
Mm. Well said. Well said.
I
Is
ate. Hey, I did that.
yo,
I did that.
what?
I
You
did
left
that.
no crumbs. He ate left no
Said,
crumbs.
you feel me?
um, what advice do you have for people who want to get into acting and become an actor?
Please be comfortable being unemployed. I don't mean that in like, oh, it's never gonna happen. It's just acting is a long, long, long process, and most of your time as an actor, you're gonna have unbooked work only because there are like she said before. I think there's like 20,000, 35,000 people going for the same role you want. So if it doesn't happen for you on the first time or the first 10 times or the first 100 times,
Mhm.
if it's something you really want to do, stay with it. Because there's a lot of people that still don't think I be like, they think I gave up my dream of acting. And it's like, it's not even like that. It's just, you don't understand like the mechanisms or the optics of how the acting world works. Like, you can get 100 no's and then get one maybe and that still be a no. And you still have to be on time. You have to be on call, on standby, have your training and everything ready for you. When you get the role that does come to you and it is right for you,
Mhm.
you execute it. But definitely make sure you're consistent. Make sure you're in classes. Make sure you're doing things to better yourself, whether it's physically, mentally, reading, picking up new hobbies. Because if you're for a role that requires you to know how to box and you're a great actor, but there's somebody who actually knows how to box and they're not a good actor, they'll be like, listen, we can just teach him how to act. It's ain't nothing. So definitely make sure you're picking up new hobbies, bettering yourself, and just make sure you're staying headstrong in what you want to do. Because it's not an easy career. And if it's something you really want to do, you have to be comfortable with hearing the word no. Because that's something that will be constant for you. And if you're the one in a million that gets their first yes and you book like a series regular or a lead in a movie, that's great for you. I'm not saying it can't happen because it's definitely happened before, but 9 times out of 10 it won't. So just make sure you know this is what you want to do and make sure you don't give up easy because it's something that requires a lot of patience and a lot of personal growth. And that's where I'm at now.
Mm. Hope y'all took those gems. Hope y'all catching these gems, y'all. I want to go
Giving them
to
out for free, man.
free 99.
Free 99, man.
I want to go
Only
to
here.
some,
Only over mind over matter.
yo,
That's the
only
only way you can
here.
get it.
You heard it here first.
Thanks.
I'm going to go to some TikTok questions.
Of course, talk to me.
Okay.
I'm a big TikToker. It's like, no, I'm not. My brother is.
Are you not a talker?
Not really. I'll post like my YouTube shorts or things on it like that, or my little Boohoo Man videos.
I'm gonna dead watch your YouTube and see what's up.
Yeah, come on, subscribe. I'm about to drop a new video out this Friday. I just gotta edit that, and editing be so
Oh my
so
God, don't
tedious.
even get me started.
I believe me, it look way more complicated than mine. You got 5 cameras in here.
Nah, only one is on. Only one is
Oh,
on.
for real?
Yeah.
It's intimidating. I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm like, all right, bet.
Oh, okay. I feel like you answered this. Did you? How has your approach to acting evolved since the beginning of your career?
Just being more open minded, being able to accept roles where it's not the stereotypical Black African American role. Hey, you're gonna be doing drugs. It's like, no. I want to be a lawyer. I want to be an astronaut now. I want to be a president. I want to do different things where it shows my versatility as an actor, not just, yeah, you can sell drugs. A whole bunch of people sell drugs. People sell drugs in the regular day life. Like, it's cool to really become an actor or really be in the line of acting because at some point you have to do some actual training for the role you're in. So and I keep on going back to lawyer, 'cause I'm like, it's something that's been resonating with me. I'm like,
Yeah,
it's
you've been saying
yeah,
lawyer.
I've been saying lawyer. I don't know why. It's like my dad actually wanted to be a lawyer, but when he was younger. But it's just like to be able to dress up in a suit and go to a place now where you're in front of an actual judge, jury, and you're presenting facts, you're presenting knowledge, you look like you know what you're talking about. It's cool. Or same in the aspect of being a boxer, you actually have to get into great physical condition. You have to know how to take a punch, you have to know how to throw a punch. So with all these different roles you're taking on, you're learning something from them and you're growing. And now when you do when you do run into somebody who's actually in that profession, you can now talk to them on the level where it's like, okay, I understand where you're coming from, rather than, just I sold drugs in this movie, I sold drugs in that movie. Oh wait, I shoot a gun and I sold drugs in this movie. You feel me? So it's like you get to be versatile and get to take on new life experiences. That's one of the cool things about it too. Cause if you didn't have a direct career path you wanted to go in life, you get to dib and dabble in all of them. And that's cool.
I want to finish off with the future of acting.
Talk to me.
It's a lot going on in the acting field, especially with the AI stuff going on and
yeah.
even like the strike that happened.
Yeah, that was bad.
It's a lot we could get into, but I want to finish with like the future.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the future of acting, especially with AI coming in and like just stealing people's faces and just doing a bunch of weird stuff out here?
That's definitely weird. But I say make sure you're at the point where you bring something different to the table. Be the best version of you. That way when you leave the audition or you send in your self-tape, it's memorable. And they're like, listen, no AI can take their place. That's what I would say. Just be memorable, be bold, make strong decisions and strong character development.
Okay. Anything you want to leave the people off with?
No, I just want to say shout out and thank you to you. She's been an amazing host. Amazing.
Appreciate you.
Just overall, amazing overall. Make sure y'all go follow me on Instagram at The Real Hollywood. And
link in description.
Facts, yeah. Follow YouTube and, just tap in with me. I'm going up. I'm going to be better than this. Get better every day.
Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for
I
having me.
appreciate you. And if you listen to the end, shout out to you. Like, I appreciate you. I
for
could
real,
tell
you're
you
real.
really love yourself.
You're the
Like, you
truth.
really listen to the end of another episode. Like, what? Tell a friend to tell a friend, mother, auntie, sister, dog. That is mind over matter, baby.